Now, we arrived in Surfers Paradise, which is the specific area that we were staying in Gold Coast, at around 10 p.m. So apparently this hotel doesn't actually have staff in after hours check-in times, so we just had to retrieve the key ourselves after like calling someone on the phone. So we received a envelope with the key and like a letter which told us about our room numbers and stuff. And now there were 3 towers and we correctly figured out that we had Tower 1. So we went over to Tower 1 and we started unloading our stuff. And since there was like 3 families and we were split between 2 rooms, there was a lot of bags that we had to unload. So we unloaded our bags and we put some of them onto this trolley thing, and then we had some of our people go up. And now this was where the first problem kicked in. They weren't able to get up the elevator, and they were really confused because you had to swipe your key card and then go up, but they weren't able to do that. They weren't able to like swipe the card and press the levels, and they were really confused and they thought the elevator wasn't working, and you know, we were freaking out. There was no one to help us there at all. No one at the desk or anything. We were trying to get the security guy to help, but we couldn't exactly find the security guy. After about 15 minutes of trial and error, we figured out that the specific key would only respond to the specific floor, so you couldn't go to the other floors with that specific key. And we had one room on floor 15 and one on floor 30. So it was quite a drastic difference, and also there were no stairs or anything. It's not like we would have been crazy enough to go up anyways. So after figuring that out, we sent up one batch of our luggage up to the 30th floor. And then we figured out, since we only had one key each for each room, this was a big problem because the guys who had to park the cars, they needed the keys. And we decided that the rest of us were just gonna like set up our rooms and stuff. But we couldn't because they needed the keys. So we needed the keys to go up and they needed the keys to park the cars, and we were all kind of just like stuck in limbo. My mum and I, we actually just like stood out there guarding the rest of our luggage that was unable to be taken up yet because the keys hadn't come down from the top floor. By the time we got into our hotel room, after the cars were parked and after they also had the keys and the ability to park, and we had the ability to go up this elevator, it was like 11:20. And honestly, it was kind of sad because it dampened the mood because we were so stressed at the end of that hour, like, are we ever actually going to get to sleep or not? And we were tired. So anyways, when we got up to our room, it was about 11:20. We started setting things away at about 11:30, and then my dad came up after parking the car. So I had to go down and first get him, and then we both came back up, and then we started putting things away, setting them away, and then we were done at about 12. And after that, we sat down. We were getting ready to sleep now, but we also had to plan for the next day, and that thing was still pending. So we finished our discussion at about like 1:45, and we're like, okay, since it's so late and we're not going to be able to get to whatever place we're going to tomorrow early, we were originally going to go to Movie World the next day, but we couldn't do that because Movie World requires a lot more time. So we thought that next day we would go to Seaworld instead because it takes less time to traverse the whole place. My parents and I got the room on the 15th floor and I honestly loved it. I did go up to the room on the 30th floor later, but I think it wasn't as great. Like, the views were really small and it wasn't that interesting, and it had the same view anyways. It was just a smaller view because it was higher up. But anyways, we got ready the following morning and then we headed on over to Seaworld. Now, one of their main attractions is their dolphin show, and honestly, it was so cute. Watching these dolphins is like, I could do this all day. They were the most adorable little things ever. Seaworld, if you don't know, is actually a oceanarium is what they call it. So basically it's like an outdoor aquarium, and there's a bunch of animals that they have. So they have dolphins like swimming around like this, and they have like a lot of stingrays and stuff. But they also have enclosures like you see in typical aquariums, which are for other fishes and also penguins and stingrays and other rays. I don't know what other kind of rays there are. And they also have rides, and this is my first time going on a roller coaster, and it was terrifying. The whole ride lasted less than a minute. I think it would have lasted about 40 seconds, and it was still so terrifying. Like, at one point I thought I was gonna die. I thought that was literally the end, but I suppose that is the point, isn't it? And I always loved how in amusement parks and stuff, they have the cutest shop decor. So that was really cool, and I got some burgers there, and also top-notch burgers. Brilliant. You should try them if you ever go. And then we got onto this ride, and actually my teacher has told us a really funny story about this ride, so I couldn't take anything on this ride at all seriously, and all I kept remembering was this story. So after discovering my abysmal aiming skills, my cousin and I, we went on this thing. Now, I'm pretty sure there is a specific name for this, but I just forgot, where it's you basically climb through a bunch of like mazes, but they're not exactly mazes kind of thing. It's kind of like a playground, and it's usually indoors, and people have birthday parties at it. And it's most certainly for children, because the sign at the front said it recommended for children under 12, but we saw some adults there, so we were like, well, we're closer to 12 than they are, so... Also, they have these cool human dryers at both Movie World and Seaworld, and I'm guessing also Wet n Wild, and it feels so cool to stand inside one because it genuinely feels like you're inside a dryer, and I love hot weather. hit the town, and we basically just decided to walk around and see what Gold Coast had to offer. And it looked really nice in the evening, and I really enjoyed just walking around there. And we did this every single day because this was our first day there, but every progressive day we also went out for a walk, and it was just so cool, and the atmosphere and the vibes of the place were just like really fun and really holiday moody, so that was fun. And there's this discount store there, and everybody, absolutely everybody who visits Surfers Paradise goes here, and you can tell because they're all wearing the same shirts and caps that you buy from this store. And it's honestly so cute, where it's kind of like a community of people who are like, oh, we're here on holiday, so we'll buy this hat. And then it's matching with everyone else who went there. And then after that, we went to eat, and so we were just looking around places, and this night I had Chinese because I wanted to mix it up a bit and not just eat the same food every single day. And also I love Chinese food. Now while we were walking around, we passed this, and this is actually the Chevron Renaissance shopping mall, and this directly connects to our towers, and I found that really cool. And later you'll see us go inside, and we can just walk into our tower from this shopping mall, and then we can walk out of our tower into this shopping mall. And it's just really cool because we had like special access from places that other people couldn't get to, and that just made me feel really special. And also, funny thing that we noticed that most of the shopping malls here, they're actually like uncovered. So the entrances, they don't have doors on them or anything. And this was the case for most of the shopping malls that were like alleys. And we found that really cool, and also compared it to Melbourne, where this idea could not be possible ever because it rains way too much here and the weather is so unpredictable and so cold. And it would literally be a disaster if that were to happen in Melbourne. After stopping by Coles, we went over to Time Zone. And now this was mostly just for the kiddos because I have absolutely no ability to game or arcade. I'm not entirely sure what you would call this. And the only thing that I can do well is laser tag, and I did do that and I had fun doing that. But I mostly just enjoyed the vibe of the place. that about wraps it up for day 1 in Gold Coast, and I will be seeing you next week with day 2. So I hope that you're enjoying your day, and I hope that you continue to have a good day.